What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Tuesday. Welcome into a new episode of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault, each and every morning, 365. You guys get this podcast, YouTube, and wherever you guys get your audio podcasts. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt if you would like to do so. And we are back after a flat 1-1 day. It's kind of the running theme here. The Josh Giddey prop got scratched, so nothing there. Eagles get there, win the game. Ugly football game. I did not think that the game plan for the Packers was going to be to give the ball to Josh Jacobs every down, every possession. Like, that was okay. Prop bet cheat sheet had it at 92.5. And even with him getting like 1,000 carries and like 1,000 balls thrown in, it didn't fly over. It went over, but yikes. Packers, Matt LaFleur. This was my point going into the game. I don't know what Matt LaFleur was doing. Like, the game plan was odd, to say the least. It was odd. I thought the vertical passing game was ignored way too much. I thought there were points left on the field by the Packers. Again, the Eagles win a game that they don't look like the better team, and they're just fortunate at the end of the game. They are the winning team. Like, it's not like they blow anybody out or they really impress you, but they win. At the end of the day, did you win? The answer is yes. The Eagles won the football game. So, Matt LaFleur's got a lot of questions, in my opinion. A lot of questions as to what's going on with him at the moment. I have 2 college basketball plays and I have 1 NBA play. It is a basketball Tuesday for us, but the mini helmet is a football mini helmet signed by Broncos quarterback Bo Nix. If you would like to win this during the month of November, it is very easy for you to do so. You simply subscribe to the BettingPros YouTube channel and you need to leave a comment on this video. That is all you must do. Any comment will suffice, and we very well might select you to be the winner from pristineauction.com, an autographed mini helmet signed by the quarterback for the Broncos, one Mr. Bo Nix. Subscribe, comment, and you are in to the giveaway. Okay, let's start talking about the Creighton Blue Jays. This hat is the Bostonian versus the book Creighton model. I made this hat for the Creighton Blue Jays. Well, why? Well, you can't see it, but right here, because, well, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit here. Let me give you the full look here of our of the look. There it is. Okay. See right there? If you're watching on YouTube, you see that? That's a Creighton Blue Jay. Old school Blue Jay logo. Red Sox, the Bruins, the Celtics, the Patriots are represented elsewhere behind me, but the Creighton Blue Jays are represented behind me. Okay? So to give you an idea of where I am, sorry if I'm making you dizzy on the YouTube channel for all this, but to give you an idea, okay, of where I am with the Creighton Blue Jays, I am as biased on the Jays as I am with any basketball team, with any team. You think the Patriots' love is annoying? 8-2 must be chapping your butt, huh? But the Jays are right there, okay? So I was the pre- and post-game show host for the Creighton Blue Jays, and then I started their first ever rival site. I covered the Jays very closely. The only coach who will answer my texts at any time is Coach Greg McDermott, okay? He is a wonderful guy, and I covered Doug from his sophomore year in high school, and now Doug has had a 10-year career in the NBA. So Nick, his son, who is now a caddy on the PGA Tour, I still communicate with them. Long story short is I am close to this program still. So when we bet the Jays in their first game, first half over with South Dakota, and that hits, I tend to do pretty well backing the Jays. This game is huge tonight. Creighton Blue Jays are on the road against Gonzaga. It's on ESPN. If you have YouTube TV, we're SOL. So go and find a way to watch it. But the app will have it. Gonzaga is the program that the Creighton Blue Jays aspire to be like. Okay? If you want to talk about like the barometer, Gonzaga's success has been unbelievable. And Mark Few's success has been unbelievable. I think every Creighton fan looks at Gonzaga as to what is possible for a, quote, basketball-only school. The Sweet 16 run, the domination of the WAC of, the best West Coast school, Gonzaga was offered a chance to join the Big East when the Big East was forming because they are a Jesuit institution, and they chose to stay outside. It would be, eventually it would be great. It would all be awesome to see if the Jays and Gonzaga could play in the same conference. But these two programs have a ton of respect for each other. And look at Gonzaga against most teams, they're going to have a height advantage. They're not against the Jays, okay? There are multiple players who are 6'7" or taller for Gonzaga. They're just a very tall team. They have 4 players at 6'7" or taller. They've got a really old and veteran team. Tyon Grant Foster is playing in his 8th college basketball season. He was just ruled eligible by a judge a couple of weeks ago after dealing with a heart issue. He had some very scary things that happened, but he's a very good basketball player. But he began his eligibility in 2018 at a junior college in Iowa. Okay, so give you an idea of what this guy has looked like and how he has bounced around playing at Kansas and then playing at DePaul and then playing now here with then GCU at Grand Canyon, and then now going to play for Gonzaga last year. He's a 6'7" player from Kansas City who is a really good player, but he is old. He is really old. KenPom has this as a 10-point win, 86-76 win for Gonzaga. The number is 12.5. I think when you have a team like the Creighton Blue Jays who are going to shoot as much as they are going to shoot from behind the 3-point line, and the fact that they are going to try their hardest to get Gonzaga into an up and down game if they can. The Jays right now, and it's early in the season, they're shooting 30% from behind the arc. That's not going to continue, okay? They're going to shoot better. They were up and down streaky against South Dakota, but that's because it was the first game of the year. This is the game that they were looking at. This is the opener for the Creighton Blue Jays. This is a game that the alumni want. This is a game that the Creighton fans want. This is the game that the players want, okay? It's Gonzaga on the road in Spokane, Washington, in a place that Gonzaga never loses. I do not believe the Jays win this game tonight. However, if I'm catching 12.5 points with a team like the Jays who are going to shoot a ton of threes in this game, I expect them to bomb it as much as they can. But they've got players like Owen Freeman, the Iowa transfer, who's 6'10". Jackson McAndrew, the number one returning player and the all-freshman team member last year. He's 6'10". They have Isaac Trout, who is 6'10". They've got a lot of size, and the Jays should be able to hang on the boards with Gonzaga. And that's probably going to be the difference in this game, in my mind, is whether or not Creighton can get to the offensive glass, get second chance opportunities from a kickout perspective, and then hit the open three. The Jays have got to shoot well from behind the arc. Gonzaga is going to be a very difficult team to deal with because their offense is so effective. They are a tremendously sound offensive team. They are deep. They have a bench, and they're extremely well coached. It's Mark Few, for goodness sakes, okay? We know how well coached this team is and how difficult this matchup is going to be. Frankly, Coach McDermott against Coach Few has not been good, okay? Just hasn't been good. It's been not totally lopsided, but kind of lopsided. Back in 2018, number one ranked Gonzaga beat the Jays 103-92. That was a game in which the Jays had a lead, and then Gonzaga came back and won late. In 2017, number 15 Gonzaga beat number 25 Creighton in a 91-74 game. That was a while ago. Gonzaga is 5-6 all time. The first time these teams played was back in 1947, so it's been a while. They did play in the 2021 NCAA tournament, 83-65 the win for Gonzaga. Andrew Nembhard and Marcus Zagorowski, 19 points for him. So, there have been some history here. The Nembhard family, for instance, there's some history playing for both Creighton and Gonzaga. There's a lot of similarities. I think this is a tighter game than the number is indicating, in particular with the Jays 3-point shooting. If Creighton hits their threes, they're going to be in the game, and they probably lose the game by 7 to 10 points, somewhere in that range. I'm taking the 12.5 points. I'm going to say that that KenPom has it right. Creighton plus 12.5 for 1.1 units. I hope you get a better number. I hope you get 13 or 14. Hope the number keeps on climbing here and people start, betting brand names because they haven't seen much of Jackson McAndrew. They haven't seen much of the Iowa kids, the Iowa transfers, the Dixon kid, that there's, or the Dix kid, I guess, for Creighton. That's, the Jays have some talent. Okay. They have Big Ten talent and they have a chance to go on the road. Josh Dix is a player that 6'6" guard who the Jays need a lot out of. Okay. They're going to need everyone, all hands on deck. Okay. Nick Graves is going to have to play well. There's some really good players on Gonzaga's team. Like, Gonzaga is a really good basketball team. They're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. They're going to be a factor, Sweet 16 factor for sure in the NCAA tournament. According to KenPom, they're the 8th ranked team on KenPom, to give you an idea. The Jays are 45th, okay, to give you a barometer as to what we're looking at here. Jays keep it closer than 12.5, though. Jays plus 12.5 for 1.1 units. The game of the night, the other game of the night, the one that will play before the Creighton Blue Jays take on the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Kentucky's on the road against Louisville. I mean, my God. What a game. What an awesome game to have. What an awesome game to watch. In games like this, I almost always just take the dog because the amount of emotion going in, if I get points, I want points. Mark Pope with Kentucky, I love the defense that Kentucky plays, and I think defense travels. I know Louisville's got a really good backcourt, and Louisville has got a really good team that can shoot. Their guards are tremendous. KenPom has put Kentucky, though, as the number 1 team in the country, according to KenPom. Now, how accurate is that? A lot of ball to be played, but to give you an idea what the analytics think, the analytics like Kentucky a lot. Louisville's 12th. Nothing to shake a stick at, but this is a 1-point loss for Kentucky against Louisville, according to KenPom. But the number is 4.5. I'm catching more than a possession for Kentucky in a rivalry game. Yes, please. Okay, I'm going to take Kentucky almost every single time in these situations. And so we're going to find out a lot about Kentucky's offense. We know what their defense can do. They're great defensively. But what can they do offensively? That's going to be a question. Louisville, this is a team at home with a great atmosphere and obviously their biggest rival coming in. There's going to be just an epic performance. This is going to feel like an NCAA tournament game. This is going to be refereed like an NCAA tournament game, frankly. It's going to be a tight whistle. I think you'll see a lot of free throws on both sides, but I think Kentucky's defense can keep this game close. In fact, I think Kentucky can win the game. But Louisville, a lot of people are on them. I get it. 3-point win for Louisville is fine. I'm going to take the 4.5 points here for Mark Pope's team on the road. Can they go get a huge win early in the season? I'm always back in blue over red. I'm always back in blue over red. Louisville, sorry guys, I like Kentucky. Give me the Cats plus 4.5 for 1.1 unit. So the Blue Jays plus 12.5, the Wildcats plus 4.5. We like points tonight. We like blue. We like points. We like road dogs tonight. Could I be dead wrong? Absolutely. I've been not great in college hoops in 2025. I'm 1-3 in college hoops so far this season. So let's see what I can wind up going with. Our NBA player prop got scratched last night with Josh Giddey. I don't think that's going to happen here with Anthony Simons for the Boston Celtics. So Boston is on the road at Philly. This is a 8 o'clock Eastern time tip. Last game out, Simons was unbelievable. He had 26 points in rebounds last time out. Now, he had 25 points in 1 rebound. His prop tonight is set at 16.5 points and rebounds. Against Orlando in the first game, he only had 11 points and 2 boards. He would go under this. But against Washington at home, he had 18 points, no rebounds. Against Utah, he had 15 points and a rebound. He didn't play well against Houston at home in a game that Boston lost 128-101. But I watched him against Orlando, and yes, he's from Orlando, so maybe he has a little extra juice going with that. But I really liked what I saw out of him, and the prop bet cheat sheet really likes this to go over. They're projecting 22.5 points and rebounds for Anthony Simons of the Boston Celtics, an 80% cover probability, a plus 46 expected value, and a 5-star play for Anthony Simons, who is getting shots. Clearly in this offense right now for Joe Mazzulla, he's getting shots. This has gone over 2 of the last 3 games. I think it goes over here tonight with Anthony Simons having a big opportunity to score against the Sixers team. The last time these two teams played was back on the 31st of October. He wound up with 23. Back against in the first matchup against Philadelphia was on the 22nd. That game was in Boston. He had 17. So he's 2-0 going over 16.5 points in rebounds. Anthony Simons over 16.5 points and rebounds for the Boston Celtics is our prop bet going on here for today. So our plays for today: Creighton plus 12.5, Kentucky plus 4.5, and Anthony Simons over 16.5 points and rebounds. If you guys want to take those plays and go over to Hard Rock Bet, you can do that by going over to Hard Rock Bet. You can make a $5 play, and that $5 play could wind up not just returning your winnings, but also $150 in extra bonus bets. We got football, NBA, college basketball, all sorts of good stuff going on here at Hard Rock Bet. And the Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub is up right now. You guys can check out trends, streaks, and stats to help you guide your picks. Hard Rock Bet is the only sports book in Florida, but it's also live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. Coming soon to more states. Hard Rock Bet also offers new promos every single day. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit today. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.